Madam Speaker, I thank you for this chance. And I want to express my satisfaction with the industry by your committee, where you are the vice chair, and my brother Mohammed is the chair. Madam Speaker, you will notice that purely by coincidence, the debate today is about markets in Bungoma County and markets in Vihiga. And because markets play a key role in the economies not only of these two counties, but by extension, all the 5 counties of the former Western Province, I therefore want to speak very candidly to the Governor of Trans Nzoia, Bungoma, Kakamega, Vihiga, and Busia, that we are expecting a lot from them. And if the report of this committee on the 2 counties is anything to go by, then they have missed our expectations by miles. Madam Speaker, just in this House, 18.2 billion shillings was afforded for budget in Kakamega County. 15.6 billion for Bungoma County. 9.3 billion for the Trans Nzoia County. 9.2 billion for the Busia County, and 8 billion for the Vihiga County. How on earth, Madam Speaker, could it be that despite all these billions of shillings, when you move across the 5 counties, there is no visibility of development? Senator Osotsi, Senator Wakoli, myself, Senator Chesang, Okiya Omtatah, there is something wrong in our home counties. And if we do not raise our voices, if we pursue this route of us being organized here in Nairobi, that either you belong to the opposition or to the government, or you are part of the misunderstood or ununderstood thing called the broad-based, we will sink even further. We will spend all our working hours, Senator Omtatah, thinking about how nice, how God-sent the broad-based government was, when in actual effect, poverty continues to rise in our backyards. Madam Speaker, when you look at these counties, these billions, and of course, as expected, our share from the 85% that remains at the national government is supposed to open our economy. How do you expect the markets in Vihiga, for example, to be optimally productive if the infrastructure is not opened? Vihiga trades with Kakamega, trades with Nandi. And if you go to come from Kakamega to go and do business in Vihiga, in Jeptul, in Mudete, in Shamahoho, and in Serem, Madam Speaker, it is impossible. Why? Because the national government has been promising our people, election after election, including the election of 2022, that they will fix the road infrastructure. 3 budgets after we won the election in 2022, Senator Osotsi, I wonder, why is it still impossible to fix the road from Hamisi to Shamahoho, Shamahoho to Kaimosi, Kaimosi to Muhudu, Muhudu to Impaka, Impaka to Shiveye, Shiveye to Museno in Kakamega, so that our people can do business? And this is a project which, Madam Speaker, with due respect, when we were attempting to win the election in 2022, we did regional economic caucuses where we identified the potential areas And now that Azimio, which did the same exercise with Kenya Kwanza, they are both in the same government. In fact, Azimio is now holding the purse strings. They are at the National Treasury. Why is it difficult? Or is there something wrong if development is tweaked to go to the counties of Western Kenya? Senator Osotsi. Something is wrong. In fact, Peter Kivisu is standing in his grave. The man who stood in this house and voted against government when himself, at that time, was assistant minister. Henry Pius Masinde Muliro, the same afternoon, he voted against government in this house, despite being Minister of Lands. Both of them were sacked because they believed in good governance. They were voting because, Madam Speaker, they were being forced on some principle called collective responsibility. And Masinde Muliro, Peter Kivisu, Elijah Weske Mwangale said that Abaluya people do not support killing of people, and they refused to endorse the report that was revealing who killed Josiah Mwangi Kariuki. We come from that pedigree, and therefore we must stand in this house and demand that national resources must also go to our region. I am not in the same mindset like the guy of shares, but sometimes there are certain aspects about the guy of shares that had nothing wrong. For example, when he was saying development should go to the mountain, I mean, that is what government is all about. That's what representation is all about. You can see my sister Beatrice Ogola these days, with due respect, she walks with a glow on the face because things are flowing into Homa Bay. Madam Speaker, this is the way it's supposed to be. And Beatrice Ogola, do not apologize for pushing that things go to Homa Bay. I would like us to also learn from Beatrice Ogola and Moses Kajwang in this house.
What's your point of order,
Madam
Senator
Speaker,
Beatrice?
Madam Speaker,
Honorable Speaker,
are you ambushing me?
is the majority whip insinuating that Homa Bay does not deserve services from this government?
No.
Yeah, we are Kenyans. We are county 043. Yes. Yeah, and we deserve all the services. In fact, Madam Speaker, we expect more than what we have gotten.
Senator Beatrice, what is your point of order?
I didn't insinuate that.
Senator Khalwale, you can proceed.
Thank you. Beatrice, you know, I was admiring
Senator Khalwale, you address the House through the chair.
Yes.
Madam
Chair, I admire Beatrice Ogola, Moses Kajwang, and the governor of Homa Bay. I don't know how they do it. Do you know, in 9 short months, Madam Speaker, they have so admirably managed to convince the national government to put up an infrastructure of water worth 787 million shillings. I was chatting with the Honorable Kaluma this morning at a committee, and he told me he's so proud because they now have got a network within Homa Bay Town of 137 kilometers of tarmac road in the last 9 months. So I'm just saying, you're doing a good job, but when you hear me insist that Kakamega should also get, it doesn't mean I don't like Homa Bay. You have set a good standard, and we all should put pressure on the president so that what he's doing in Homa Bay, he should also do it in Kisi, in Kakamega, in Mandera. No, in Mandera you have got Olugado, the long road of 700 kilometers. Madam Speaker, this is devolution. And if we continue pushing the way we are pushing, then the marginalization that we used to worry about, that was in the former North Frontier districts of Northeastern, will befall some of us. And we are not going to accept it. And this is why we were voted for. Madam Speaker, the people now speaking about the markets that are in this report and my neighbors. When you go to Serem, my great-great-grandmother was a girl born in Serem. She was called Lubandua. The same market in Serem, you go there are no public toilets. Madam Speaker, the state-of-the-art transport system in Serem Market, in Shamahoho, is border. Our children are forever exposed along the roadside. They are hit by trucks. Madam Speaker, most of them, they are exposed to sunlight and rain because there are no border sheds. These are the drivers of our economy. Madam Speaker, as her daughter, who we happily handed over to Kisumu, but who was born in the same place like me, you know Shamahoho. Shamahoho is the only market in Kenya which has a population of 2,000 to 3,000 shillings. 2,000 to 3,000 people doing business, selling bananas, green vegetables that we eat here in Nairobi, Madam Speaker, without any land. They are all standing alongside the road in Shamahoho. How Akaranga, who was the first governor, and how Tichilo, who has been governor now, is running into 10 years, they have not found it necessary to move people who are next to that roadside, resettle them elsewhere, and expand this market. I don't know what leadership means to these two brothers of mine. Madam Speaker, this report really angers me that despite the brisk business I see in Serem, in Jeptul, at Kaimosi Junction, at Shamahoho, at Mago, at Savatia, at Modete, at Jabakali, Esibuye, Ilwanda, they are telling us that they collect only 13 million shillings per year. That's what they say in this report. That is not even half of what is collected at Khayaga Market only in Kakamega. And yet the same business theory, borders, Mamamboga, Mutumba, is what takes place there. So why are we collecting more money in Khayaga than at Chabakale? For your information, Senator Osoti, Chabakale Market, as you know the history, you people stole it from us in Kakamega. It is called Ishiabakali. It is not Chabakale. At Chabakale Market, Ishiabakali, for your information, Chabakale Market, which is more or less the same size like Khayaga, it is a better economy because it runs for almost 24 hours a day. And yet, they collect nothing. These people are just sharing that money. It is open theft. I therefore want to pay my respects to the Senator of Kisii, because I have heard you again and again, you've always insisted that we must standardize the electronic collection of revenue. Because in your own words, if it has succeeded in Murang'a, if it has succeeded in Kiambu, if it has succeeded in Meru, why can't we use the same system? We have never suffered any consequences of using a uniform IMFI system in the whole country. We should stop this theft. I wish a guy who believes in integrity like Onyonga was to become either the chairman of EACC, or better, you become the director of DCI, Madam Speaker, so that we can arrest all these people. Senator Onyonga, you better be careful.
Senator Khalwale, you don't address
thank you, Madam Speaker. Back to business. I just wanted to warn Madam Speaker that Senator Nyamu is threatening that she can derail him. I don't know how. She wants to derail him on matters of integrity. I thought you are a woman of great integrity. I know you as a woman of great integrity. Madam Speaker, Mbale Market. Mbale Market, this report, Central Sozi, what do we do? How can we have the headquarters of the great people of Vihiga, called Mbale, being the state it is? Why? Even if you just come only to Malinya Market, I deliberately, when I saw that the district headquarters was coming there, I deliberately moved families and resettled them elsewhere using CDF, so that we could create land where we can have infrastructure. You come to Malinya, we have created land, 20 acres, you have a stadium, you have the hospital, not 20, 30, 10 for the hospital, the stadium. We have created that. Why can't the imagination of governors be such that they create land in Mbale, for Mbale to be a headquarters? Every time I go for a drink at Nzogu, I pass through the market there in the evening, and our people love business. They love business. But then you can't drive through because they do the business on the road. We need to even ensure that the planning department, the city planning department, whether you call it city or town or whatever they call it, should actually be functional so that our people can be given an opportunity to enjoy doing business. I was listening to the former deputy president when he was in the US. He was truly misguided. In fact, if I had had any regrets for casting a vote to get him out of public office, Madam Speaker, I felt vindicated. The guy was telling the diaspora that the economy of Kenya is run by the men and women from Mrima. Madam Speaker, that kind of insult coming from a leader who had the opportunity, Madam Speaker, to be a DO in Nabaholo, in Kakamega, cannot be excusable. When the former DP was a DO in Nabaholo, an adult like me was an adult like him, he knows what he did to sugarcane farmers. He knows what he did to the shares of Moko in Mumias. He cannot go and insult us because the bad constitution that was there forced the presidency to stay in Mount Kenya for tens and tens of years, and in the process they wrote on the dictatorship of the executive to enjoy economic emancipation at the expense of the rest of us. He cannot then vomit on our shoes. I'm surprised that he even dared to field a candidate in Malaba constituency by-election if he detests our people to that extent. You tell people that they don't participate in the economy of the republic and you want to go and win an election in Malaba? Kashagwa, party leader of DCP, I wish you good luck in Malaba constituency. A time is coming, and that time is soon. Some people will have to respect us. People cannot be using election in, election out to get votes. And when they come in office, they disrespect us, they economically marginalize us, and Mr. Speaker, Madam Speaker, they attempt to humiliate us. No, we cannot accept. We are men. We are children of women. We are fathers of children. Our expectations in life are the same as everybody's. We do not want any community to be left behind in Kenya. All communities must move at the same pace.